What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another installment here of Honest and Uneducated, the show where we talk about anything from movies, movie news, video games, comic books, custom lightsabers, hot toys. It's all sorts of fun stuff like that. Joining me today is none other than the Rick Metz himself. How are you doing today, good sir?
Doing pretty good. How are you?
I'm pretty good. How's your lightsaber hunt going?
It'll be here Wednesday. Had to cancel an order, place a new order through Amazon, which I think will be a little more reliable. But dude, your lightsaber.
Oh yeah, for
It's
sure.
sick.
Oh, wrong button there. Yeah, dude, it's good. It's good. I got it right here.
Yeah,
Right.
that thing. As
I
soon as
got
I saw
the-
that and played with it, I got the bug.
Oh, yeah, man. Well, you turned me on to it at first. You kept talking about, oh, I want to get a lightsaber, and I was just like, yeah, but what are you gonna do with it? You know, what I mean, what am I gonna do with it? Like, I
You
don't
can
know.
roll with it.
Yeah, and then I started watching all the videos about it. I'm just like, damn it, I really want one of these
Yeah,
things.
these are really cool.
And then now I'm long story short, now I'm gonna have 4.
Yeah.
Spoiler alert.
Well,
But-
technically 5.
Yeah, because don't say nothing.
I'm not saying.
I haven't said what it was yet. I've been teasing everybody. I just posted the unboxing for that lightsaber, so go watch that if you haven't. But I've just been teasing the other ones.
Yeah.
I haven't confirmed. That's actually the most information I've given is that there's going to be like 4 total. I've just been teasing it before. So we'll see. We also got John Knight here himself. How you doing today, John?
Well, I was doing fine up until I realized that I'm the only one that doesn't have a lightsaber either in my possession or on the way. So I might need to rectify that pretty soon. But I'm glad to be having a chance to chat with you guys about some stuff and get away from the craziness that was the real world this week.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, there's
It's gonna hit the fan.
yeah, it's not too good. It's not too good.
No.
There's definitely been better days. In a year that we had such a bad year 2020,
2021 start.
and then everyone's like, "It'll be better in 2021, right?" What? It's not starting off very much better.
Be careful.
Yeah.
Don't be too sure about anything these days.
I still have hope.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see. At least I don't know. The worst thing about 2020, for most people, will say. I mean, I think globally would have been the pandemic, but I guess it's only bad right now domestically for
Well,
the
no.
most part. I mean,
The other day,
And
I think
hopefully
it was-
the pandemic is on that downturn.
yeah,
hopefully
because the other day was
the vaccines are rolling out, and hopefully
Right.
those will get us where
4,000
we all
deaths.
want to be.
oh, I mean, the numbers for it have not gotten any better. I mean, around the world they have though.
Oh yeah,
Like-
sure. Everywhere else it has.
Like I've never been more convinced to move to New Zealand ever.
Oh,
Like
the spot.
like Lord of the Rings started it. Like I was like, I
Yeah.
want to go to there. And then
The singer
Yeah.
of MSI lives in New Zealand now.
who?
The singer of MSI, Jimmy Aaron.
Oh, Jimmy.
Yeah, he moved to.
It's a name I haven't heard in a long time.
Yeah, long time.
Every once in a while, though, I do think that was their first and second album were like pretty good.
Yeah,
I actually like. It's kind of vulgar, though. I don't really recommend anybody listen to them, but it's good.
Music at the times for sure.
Yeah, they put on a decent show, I guess. It was that's the yesteryears, but let's get into these topics here. But first, guys, don't forget you can submit topics and questions to the show by emailing us at honestanduneducated@gmail.com. That's honestanduneducated@gmail.com. You can also send me any list of like saber fonts or anything like that. If you got some good quality, some good saber fonts for custom lightsabers, I need to put some on my Profi board. So send them my way. All right. And let me know. I said in the last video too, or actually no, this upcoming video, the full review of this thing. Let me know if you're interested in getting a custom lightsaber. Do what, when, and where, what company, what kind, all that good stuff. And then John's gonna have to email me too because he's still waiting on that as well. So
We'll have to do a comparison of the two when I get mine.
yeah, man, we could make like a sick dueling video. Like I'll come
Wear
in,
the outfits.
I'll come in with we all get the robes, and then it'll be the cheesiest, dumbest thing in the world, but it'll be fun. And that's all that
It'd be
matters.
super fun.
That's all that would matter. But anyways, let's get into this first topic here. So our first topic is going to be about the recently we heard like about a year ago. I think it was a year ago. I think it may have been like 2019 even. But we got wind that Kevin Feige was going to be developing in some fashion a Star Wars movie, and details are still pretty scarce about the who, what, and when, where of this. We don't know what time, place is going to be, or time period rather, like, or what it's going to be about. So I'm really curious to find out more about that in general. But they have attached a writer to it, and it's the same writer that they have from the Loki series and the Doctor Strange 2 Multiverse of Madness. So, like, Kevin Feige himself has gone out and picked this fella, Michael Waldron is his name, to actually pen the script for his Star Wars movie. And there's an interesting thing here in this article, though. It goes on to say that I think this is kind of the thing that a lot of people are just kind of like overlooking here, but they literally confirm in this article that he's working on Loki season 2 as well. So we kind of low key got a confirmation that there's going to be a season 2 of Loki. So that was actually kind of cool.
Low key.
In and of itself, low key. I didn't even realize I did that, dude. Like that was
Serious?
I thought that was on purpose.
really, it was not. But yeah. So I guess no pun intended. So literally that time, everybody who says no pun intended obviously intends the pun because you're saying it. Exactly. So they should say pun intended. But yeah, I think that's one of the more exciting things that came out of it. Other than the fact that another thing that I think people aren't really considering too much about this is for Kevin Feige to go out and pick this dude, this Michael Waldron fella, to actually come in and write his Star Wars. He's got this idea for a Star Wars movie, and he goes to Kathleen Kennedy, and she's like, "Sure, go for it." And then of all the people out in the world, because this is Kevin Feige we're talking about, he could get in touch with any writer anywhere, and they do it. They do whatever he wanted them to do. I mean, he's got some major pull. So for Kevin Feige to go to Michael Waldron here and say, "You're the guy that I want to write my Star Wars movie," I feel like that just shows that he has just a ton of confidence in the Loki series and Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness.
True.
So that's another thing I don't think a lot of people are considering with this, because yeah, the news that the Star Wars movie and cool, great, but like he must have done like a hell of a good job, at least in Kevin Feige's eyes, on the Loki series and Multiverse of Madness for him to seek him out, like himself, to write his Star Wars movie. You know what I mean? I think that's kind of what I'm most excited about. Is like,
I'm just excited. There's so much popping off Star Wars, like so much
non-divisive stuff popping off right now, at least for the moment. I mean, never say never. I mean, I don't know. So, I mean, everyone was all gung-ho about the prequels when they were coming out too, and look how that turned out.
The sequels?
No, I mean the prequels.
Yeah.
But I'm telling you what, though, the prequels of all things, though, they're not as bad as everyone makes them out to be.
I think they're pretty good.
They're not as bad as what we got recently in a lot of ways. I actually just rewatched. I need to go. I did not get to the original trilogy yet, but I watched Rise of Skywalker for the second time only. I watched it in theaters once, never cared to watch it again. And then I went into, I just wanted to watch it. I think I started watching it with you, John, when you were here a while back, and I ended up finishing that. It didn't work for me any more than it did before, but story for another day. But then I went straight into the prequels after that because I figured, well, I might as well just loop around at this point. And they're not that bad.
They're really not.
Like, I like the prequels. Like,
if you could cut the Jar Jar out of Phantom Menace is not bad. And I really like Attack of the Clones and Revenge of the Sith. I think they're. I was happy with them when they came out.
Yeah, everyone talks so much like crap about Attack of the Clones, and I was sitting there rewatching again, and I was just like, why do people not like this movie? Like, why is this the one? Like,
my only complaint with any of those movies is George, like, he was like a kid in a candy shop with CGI back then.
Oh yeah, that's the only thing that doesn't hold up at all.
Tone it down just a little bit, George, and you've got some just exceptional films here.
Phantom Menace wasn't
for me.
There's still a ton of CGI.
There is, but they used a lot more practical like sets and stuff. But like Attack of the Clones and Revenge of the Sith, it's like I always said it was like CGI movies with human characters.
Yeah, they really were. And that's the thing, like that's the unfortunate part, is like that CG just doesn't really hold up anymore. I would love to see them, honestly. I know it'd be a huge undertaking, and same goes for the special editions. Like, I don't really care if you want to include them in there, do it. But like, actually update that CG. Like, I know it'd be a huge undertaking, but if like they like re-rendered all that stuff in the prequels, they'd be a much more watchable movie. Like, I know like Disney would never do that because they're trying to do their own thing with Star Wars at this point. Uh, but I would kind of love to see that.
Special edition.
I know the
CG.
special edition CG looks worse than the prequel CG.
Oh, yeah.
That's why I don't like the special. It's not because they added the stuff in special editions, really. I mean, the no part sucks, but the CG just looks so bad and out of place. Like, it's just like, we got to put the Banthan over here. It just looks so out of place. It's just like, it looks like garbage.
It's like, what can we throw in here? Just
Yeah, it literally looks like the MS Paint equivalent of like putting something on something. Like, you know what I mean?
PS2 kind of.
Yeah, the shading's all wrong. The lighting's not hitting it right. It just makes it look so dumb. Like, and especially considering you're putting it in on like, you know, a film that was made in 1977, so just none of it matches up. Well, at least with the prequels, it's just everything is CG. So just your entire scene looks like that. But you just get the one thing that looks like that in the special editions, and it just stands out.
The CG Jabba from New Hope was like really bad.
Not good.
That was supposed to be a human originally. They filmed that scene, and it was a human that was going to be Jabba.
Yeah.
Some big
Yeah.
guy.
And then they had to like cut Harrison out to make it look like he walked over his tail.
Yeah.
Just like he literally like shifts like that as he walks
Or when
over it.
Vito shoots,
Funny.
he's just like move his head.
Oh yeah, that's terrible too. It's so bad. So bad, dude. But anyway, what do you guys think about the Kevin Feige Star Wars thing though? What's got you most excited about it?
Rick, if you
I think it'll be cool. I mean, like the Avengers and the MCU were really well done, and so I think whatever direction he decides to take it, I think it'll be interesting to see at least.
Where do you think he's gonna go? Do you think it's gonna be a prequel or like its own thing, like in the future? I don't think Kevin Feige would do Old Republic. In all honesty, it doesn't seem like something he would do.
What would you like to see if you could make a Star Wars movie? Like, would you want to see like Revan and all that?
Yeah, I want the Old Republic.
Yeah,
100%.
But I don't know. Hard to say.
Yeah, I feel like he would probably. I mean, I genuinely don't know, but Kevin Feige, him being. Here's the thing: Kevin Feige's really good at working inside of a like pre-existing universe, if you will, and really making it his own. You know, like stays true because like the Marvel movies are nothing like the Marvel comics, really.
Yeah.
But they all stay very true to the Marvel comics. It's its own like take on everything, and I feel like that's kind of going to be what'll happen with the Star Wars movie. I think it'll be kind of its own thing, but he's really good at making things like just feel like they're supposed to feel. You know what I mean? Like.
I got faith in them.
Like unlike because a lot of like the X-Men movies like really failed to do that in my opinion. Like they felt more like sci-fi movies as opposed to like an X-Men movie a lot of the times. You know what I mean? Not all the time. Like, but I don't know. It's the only thing that come off the top of my head.
So along those same lines of what you're saying, like I agree, Feige has an excellent way of giving you the feel of a thing, and with the MCU, it happens to be characters. He stays true to the roots of the characters. He even stays true to the feel of the MCU as a whole, and he weaves it all together just really wonderfully. I'm wondering if they aren't just going to give him kind of carte blanche to come up with his own Star Wars story and start, because they need somewhere to go. They've stated that they're done with the Skywalker saga. Mando, while they have plenty of room to shift and work within that story itself, it's kind of bookended by it's stuck in the middle of the original trilogy and the sequel trilogy. So outside the bounds of that, they don't have anywhere to go with it. So I could see Disney going to Kevin Feige and saying, look, we need something that feels like Star Wars. We need something that has the emotional impact, the fun, the excitement, the humor of Star Wars. What can you give us? You know, you're free of time restraints. You're free of setting restraints. You know, what if you were to do your own Star Wars, what would you do? And I think that's what they're going to do, because he does have such a knack for drilling down to what elements make a series or a thing popular, and putting that into the projects that he's working on. So that's kind of my feeling. I don't think they're going to mine any extended universe stuff. I don't think they're going to go back and look at any comics or anything. They might look at them for inspiration, but I don't think we're going to get like adaptations necessarily or anything like that.
Yeah. Well, you said the Skywalker saga's done too, but that was such a big part of just Star Wars lore and history in general. I mean, I feel like depending on the time period it's set in, it's going to come up or be brought up at some point. Like Death Star, like Skywalker, Darth Vader, just even if it's like a mention or
Sure.
something like that.
I don't think they're done with it. They're done with it for right now. It's the marketing for like episode 10, episode 11, episode 12 is too important for them.
Well, the other thing is
They'll
too,
make it at some point.
in 10 to 15 years when they do a complete reboot of the entire Skywalker saga, which I could totally see happening like years and years down the road, where maybe it'll give them a chance to move things around a bit more. I don't know.
And I can see in 10, 15 years them making episode 10.
Yeah, like
You think so?
Yeah.
Well,
It's
they always
just,
say they're done with it, and then
it's too much of a marketing win. Like literally just continuing the saga. You know what I mean? It's just an
So
easy
do
like episode 10. Like,
Do they bring Rey back? Is there an unknown Skywalker child of Luke's or Han and Leia's that we don't know about?
I don't know.
True. I mean, they could always retcon stuff.
Like I don't know. I feel like at some point they're gonna go back to it because
I still want Kylo Ren waking up and saying, "Man, that was a weird dream about the."
I really
the
want
sequel
that.
Ben
trilogy."
Solo,
Yeah,
just
for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or Ben. Yeah, I guess he wouldn't be Kylo at that point.
The whole thing would be his Dagobah vision.
That's his cave vision.
That's what the sequel
That would be
trilogy was.
awesome.
Dude, that's the thing, dude. That's like the wake up from a dream thing that everyone does in movies and everybody hates. This is the one time that everyone would be so happy about it. You know what I mean? It's just like press reset. Just say it was a dream.
Episode 10 opens with Ben Solo stepping up out of the cave and looking over and saying, "Grogu, what was that?" or something like that. And
Right.
Grogu's sitting there and he's like, "A vision of possible future you see," or something like that.
Dude, that would be amazing. Dude, everybody would love that. Like, I'm telling you, I would love that. Because then you get the best of both worlds. It's like if people weren't already on board with it, once you have Ben Solo come out and say Grogu or Master Grogu, like everyone's just like, well, okay, this is fine. Like you do whatever you want now. Like, well, you just delete everything. Like, yeah, that would be amazing.
I hope they delve into like
For
Grogu
sure.
and Yoda's species. So mysterious, and it'd be cool to just get a little more information.
Wouldn't it be cooler for them to leave it mysterious though? Because that's why you think it's cool. You wouldn't care if you knew about it. You know what I mean?
Be careful what you wish for. I mean, we could get metachlorians all over.
Yeah, exactly. Like, yeah. I don't know. I would like to know a little bit more, but I don't know if we'd ever see it. Like, if we do learn more about it, I don't think it's gonna be next season. I think it'd be one of those things where like the very last episode of Mandalorian, like he's in the ship with like Grogu and Mando are flying there, and you see the planet with like the sun rising over the horizon as they get to it, and then it's just like Grogu, we're home or whatever, and then cut to black. And that's like the most you get of it is like, well, there's the planet, we saw it, so it's like it's one step closer. Don't know anything else about it, but I really don't know though, because again, too, just like one last thing I want to say about the Kevin Feige thing and the possibility of like what it could be about. Not to mention too, Taika Waititi is still supposed to be making a Star Wars movie as well, and I don't know which one I'm more excited about because Taika Waititi's Taika Waititi. I know what to expect from his movies, and he's already directed some Star Wars stuff for The Mandalorian, so
he did a good job.
Yeah, I'm pretty excited for whatever Taika does. So I just have no idea what it would be, but.
Now you reminded me of your doesn't the base of your quarter scale figure come with IG?
I think it has like his head or something.
Yeah.
I thought it had like his body. Sorry,
Maybe it
I'm
does.
derailing the
I don't
topic.
remember.
I thought I was like, oh man, that's right. That episode he directed was the one where he dies, and
Hmm.
then I was like, my brain jumped to that base, and
How tall is the horror scale?
He's 18 inches tall.
It's gonna be so.
He should be as big as that Batman, around that size.
That is going to be.
That one right there, the bigger one, obviously.
Yeah.
The only one that you can see on frame right now. But the one thing too, though, with Kevin Feige, though, before we move on, is because he is so good at like playing in an existing sandbox, like you said with the MCU, I could actually totally see him doing something from existing canon at that point, but like making his own spin on it. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Like, I don't know what it would be because there's a lot out there, like from Legends, but like for whatever reason, I don't think it would be Old Republic, but it could. Like, I don't know. I just feel like when the Game of Thrones guys were on there, like that was probably the Old Republic thing, and
Yeah.
I would guess like, and then Kathleen Kennedy's even said herself like they're aware of the Old Republic and they're looking into ways of doing something in that era. And so, I mean, there's obviously been talks about doing stuff there at some point, but I don't know.
Yeah.
Like, it could be Kevin Feige. I feel like at the same time, Kevin Feige's either doing his own thing or he's gonna take some very obscure thing from Legends and just build it out. Is the only things I can think of. I have zero guess on what it could be though, but I'm super excited for whatever it is, and I'm super excited for whatever the Taika Waititi one is. Those are like, despite all the actual announcements we got, like at that that whatever event that they held, the investors call thing. Like we got tons of great stuff from there, but like we got nothing on these two, and I'm probably more excited for these two over anything, just because of the people attached to them. Like the other ones are great, like, and I'm glad we're getting them, but the talent behind these two, the Taika Waititi and Kevin Feige one, like I think that is like potentially the most promising. Like not that the other ones aren't, obviously, but just like to me, I've seen Kevin Feige's resume and I've seen Taika Waititi's resume. That's exciting.
My only concern with Kevin Feige, like I'm excited, I'm super hyped for him to take over and do a Star Wars film. My only concern is this guy is such a what's the word I'm looking for? Visionary, like architect of an entire universe. Does he really have the time and the resources to spend time developing a whole entire universe for Star Wars, or is this going to be like a one and done thing for him? Because I don't want to see him. I don't want to see the MCU lose him. I mean, if I had one wish, well, if I had a few wishes, one of them would go to having him be in charge of the MCU as long as we can.
I'd like to see him go fix DC.
Yeah.
Well, sure. Ideally, yeah, but I don't want the MCU to lose him. I don't. But I mean, that might be inevitable. It might, at someday he's probably going to decide he wants to creatively do something else. But I definitely think that he is. Well, we're going to get to the WandaVision stuff in a little bit, and I think he's not done with the MCU yet, and I don't want to see them lose that kind of. I don't want to see that level of production from them drop by him moving on to something else.
The only thing I can say about the MCU though is at the point that it is at now, it's like a giant machine that's always in motion right now, and I feel like Kevin Feige's got people that are close by to him that he trusts at this point, obviously. So I feel like if Kevin Feige had to step away for an extended period of time, like the people around him would be able to like pick up that baton, and at least because he's got his 5-year plan. Like he's had his 5-year plan. We're almost at the end of what his 5-year plan was before. And like I'm sure everyone in his like close circle like could continue on and get everything to where it needed to be. The only like scary part would be kind of like you were saying, like once his 5-year plan is gone, if he were to be like blipped away himself, then that's when I would be worried about where the MCU goes. But it's been so successful at this point. They have so many talented people that have actually been like working on those films. I feel like it's in such a good place now that like he has to be mentoring somebody like directly. Like we may not know who it is, but there has to be people around him that like he would feel 100% comfortable in, like just taking the
Handing
reins
the
of
reins
something.
of it
Yeah,
over.
maybe not permanently, but like I don't know. I just feel like you don't get to it
Or
that
to the
successful
point,
with
or to
not
the
that.
point where like he could just become like a consultant, where if they came into an issue where they weren't sure which direction to go, they could go to him and say, "Hey, look, what are your thoughts on this?"
Yeah,
and
yeah,
stuff.
something
So
like that.
he wouldn't spend nearly as much time. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, I definitely would like long term. Yeah, I'd much rather see him stay because, like, it's don't break if it ain't broke, don't fix it. You know what I mean? It's like nothing's wrong there, so let's not change anything. I was like, the only thing I would change is if like I would trade him leaving Marvel to go to DC. Like I would do it. Like I'd do it in a heartbeat.
Just to go fix it.
TNT,
Yeah.
put yourself in another $1 billion debt. Don't. It's just money at this point. Go ahead
Yeah.
and try and hire Kevin away from Warner or Disney.
Yeah, they wouldn't be able to now because he got moved over to being like the president of Marvel, not just
Yeah,
Marvel Studios. Like
right.
now he's the big boy of the entire company. So
Owns
yeah,
the company.
it'd be real hard for DC and Warner Brothers to get him away. But maybe even hire him as a consultant. Like
Yeah.
like who knows? But anyways, guys, let us know what you think about Kevin Feige and I guess the Taika Waititi thing too, because they didn't mention anything about this, but I brought it up myself. Which one are you more excited for, Kevin Feige's Star Wars or Taika Waititi's Star Wars? And what do you think? Like, do you agree with me that kind of Kevin Feige going out of his way and hiring Michael Waldron, the dude who wrote Loki and Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness, do you think that speaks volumes as to like how much confidence that Kevin must have in those two movies, like let alone in Michael Waldron? But I imagine he must have really, really liked the work that he did with both of those things. So, and of course too, Loki season 2. So let us know what you think down in the comment section below. All right, guys. So our next topic is going to keep us in the world of the MCU, as we have gotten our very first reactions and not really reviews, but our first reactions are our social media reactions to the first 3 episodes of WandaVision, and they are looking really good. But I will say, everybody, temper your expectations because there were also some good reviews on that one not too long ago with some stellar Wonder Woman 84 reviews. Okay,
And they were spot on.
to some maybe they were, but either way, not since Zack Snyder has a movie been so divisive, in my opinion, and I maybe in your case wrongfully so, just like my case for Zack Snyder's movies wrongfully so. Because Man of Steel is a goddamn masterpiece, and Batman vs Superman is fine. That's all I'm gonna say. Like, it's fine, but Wonder Woman 84 is not
Not
good.
gonna, might have a tongue left pretty soon. I keep biting it this hard.
Dude, you can't deny Man of Steel is a goddamn masterpiece.
Oh, Man of Steel is phenomenal. Man
It
of
is an
Steel
amazing movie. Everybody
Yeah.
who criticizes Man of Steel, and I know art is subjective, I'll be the first person to say, if you hate that movie, feel free to be wrong. It's okay every once in a while, but it's amazing. All right, it's amazing. It's okay to be wrong. Everybody's wrong at one point, and that's just the time you're choosing to be wrong. So it's okay. Man of Steel is awesome, so good. Anyway, let's get into these WandaVision reviews here real quick. So they are very good, and there are a couple here. I'm just going to read a couple of them because one of them here by Steve Frosty Weintraub here of Collider says that have seen the first 3 episodes of WandaVision and love how big of a swing Marvel Studios is taking with the series. The reason the MCU is king of the hill is Kevin Feige. Speaking of Kevin Feige, amazing leadership and willingness to take risks like what you'll see in WandaVision. And then a lot of people ask me about the length of WandaVision. The first 3 episodes are about an hour and a half. So, and he says he thinks the episodes get longer as we get further into the series. I don't see how that's possible because we just were told that there's going to be 9 episodes instead of 6. I just don't see. Cause see, that's the thing too. That's what I was telling you off camera. That I'm worried about that announcement of them going from the initial announcement said that there was going to be 6-hour-long episodes, and then just this past week we were told there was actually going to be 9 episodes. So my worry was that they essentially just pulled like 15-20 minutes from every, like those 6 episodes, just to make 3 more 30-ish minute episodes, and then you'll have some episodes that could maybe be 30 minutes, maybe some 40 minutes, just depending on where they had to cut and slice some stuff out.
They did with Mando.
But you at least get 8 episodes of Mando.
Yeah.
Like, you know, this is going from 6 to 9, and I feel like it's just because it's just so that man, I'm on a roll with this stuff. I got Loki, I got 6-9 in there. I'm going for it. But with the Mando stuff, it just kind of is. You know what I mean? This is like there's 6 hours. And like now it was 6 episodes. Maybe I don't actually know. Did they ever actually officially say 6, or did people just assume 6 because we were told 6 hours? I can't remember which one it was, but I know there was an article referring to there being 6 hours. I swear to God, it was 6 hours, 6 episodes.
I don't remember hearing that. I vaguely remember the 6-hour thing, but I thought that was more of a this is kind of what we're envisioning, not a this is what we've settled on.
Right, because I feel like I thought they said the same thing, and this could have been really early on. What I'm thinking of, because I feel like they said the same thing for like Winter Soldier and stuff. That it's like 3 2-hour movies, and I think maybe that people just kind of put everything together with that. You know what I mean? Like I don't know, because I mean that would make sense. Just like we essentially shot everything as 3 2-hour movies. That's that was the thing somewhere at some point. But either way, threw a couple more of these here. Eric Goldman at the Eric Goldman says the entire cast of WandaVision is great and fully committed to the stylized approach, but Elizabeth Olsen's performance is truly outstanding and one of those, man, if award shows weren't snobby about superhero stuff, she would likely get an Emmy nomination situation. Mandalorian got nominated for Emmys this past year.
That's not really, well, I guess you could consider it superhero in a way.
It has the same stigma to it that a superhero movie. It's Star Wars.
Genre TV.
Right.
Yeah.
All right. WandaVision. It's a gas. After screening the first 3 episodes, I'm hooked. Fun, clever, marvelous. Do you see what they did there?
They're not the only ones that are. You're not the only ones.
We're in good company. We're in good company. The quirky minute sitcom style leaves you wanting another episode each time. So kind of like maybe they did stick to the whole each episode is its own time frame sitcom like style thing too, because we heard like that first episode supposed to be like the 50s sitcom thing, and maybe they did in fact stick with that. I'm not gonna lie to you though, I kind of just want modern day stuff in a lot of ways. I'm excited for a couple episodes of the weird quirkiness stuff, but I kind of just I'm good with the modern day stuff. You know what I mean? Like I'm interested in the modern day stuff. You know what I mean? Like I don't want to, even if it's great and it sounds like a great concept, I'm not like trying to like crap on it by any means. But I really want to know. This is the first thing that we've gotten after Endgame, and I kind of want to know what the world's doing right there. You know?
I was going to ask that when you were right in the middle of that. I was trying to let you finish what you were saying, but do you think that's though just because we haven't gotten? I mean, we've been out of the MCU for what? It'll be almost. It's been a year and a half, almost 2 years since we've set foot in the MCU. By the time this comes out, so do you think it's just the lack of MCU content that has you like really eager to jump back in? And if this had come out in the midst of, you know, Black Widow being out and the Eternals being out and, you know, some of the other films being out, so that you have that modern that view on what the current state of the MCU is, do you think that would make it less likely that you'd be so eager to skip some of the nuances of this?
It's hard to say, but I know from watching when they released the first like long trailer of WandaVision, and you get that one shot of Vision flying up, so like it's modern day now. That was my favorite scene in the trailer. Like, you know, and it was just a modern, like, I don't know why. It was just like a quick, stupid scene. Like, didn't mean or tell you anything. But for whatever reason, that's the one I liked because it was modern day. And, like, I don't know. That's the only thing I can correlate to. It's just like, I want to see more of that. I like the superhero crap. I'm super biased. But I love sitcoms, though, too. I'm super biased. But I love sitcoms. I've watched, like, every single sitcom. So. I mean, not every sitcom from the 50s, but I did.
You do like your sitcoms.
I do. Yeah, I love Friends. I love Seinfeld. I love Frasier. I love Cheers. Dude, I love it all, man. You're the only person in the entire world who's going to say something about not liking Friends. Like, there's nothing to not like. Like, it's a good show.
Oh, look at
You
this.
don't have to love it.
I got a new
But, like,
tattoo.
It's
This
a
is
good show.
I got a tattoo of every funny moment from Friends right here.
So it's the same as your skin tone, then, right? That's a big tattoo. That's a big tattoo.
Non-existent.
You are absolutely insane, sir. You are absolutely. There are so many crappy shows out there.
You can't watch the quiz episode where they're playing trivia for their apartment and
That's my favorite episode.
That episode is just comedy
for the
gold.
longest time. When the one where they lose their apartment, is that the one you're talking about? Season 4, like episode 1 or 2. That was always my favorite episode. Then the one where they did the Joey was going to be the game show host. What was the name of that game called?
Oh, I forget. But...
Oh man, it's going to bother the hell out of me now. Too bad Eric didn't watch the show and he could just tell us.
The first 3 or 4 seasons of Friends were, I think, some of the funniest television I've ever seen.
It was one of those shows that stayed consistent all the way through, though. Like, it never lost steam in my like. The Office kind of lost steam when Steve Carell left.
Yeah.
Like Seinfeld kind of lost steam in the last season, mainly the finale, I guess. But like that was mainly the thing people didn't like about it. Frasier didn't lose any steam though. That's my favorite. Frasier is my favorite sitcom series.
I never watched Frasier. I watched Cheers, sort of, and then, but I never made the jump over to Frasier.
It's a million times, but people might think this is sacrilegious, but like Frasier is 1,000 times better than Cheers, dude. Like Cheers is kind of boring. Like in all honesty, it is very boring. Like in comparison to like Frasier is more along the lines of a Seinfeld and a Friends, and like it came out a little bit later. You know, what I mean, it's a little more, maybe that might be why I'm a little bit more biased to it.
I don't think you can top Seinfeld. It's like
Seinfeld's great. Yeah, Seinfeld's great. You know what's better than Seinfeld though? I will say. Curb Your Enthusiasm, like in all honesty.
Never really got into that.
Dude, it's honestly I like it more than Seinfeld.
Larry David.
Yeah, I mean same guy.
Yeah,
but it's like
it's Seinfeld without the restraints of network television.
True.
It lends itself to more extreme circumstances and more cringeworthy moments. That I think that's why it kind of maybe won up Seinfeld.
Well, and Larry David is just so deadpan about everything, dude. Like it's just incredible. Like he's so diluted, and like it's just so good, man. It's so good. I love that show so much. All right, let's get like 2 more of these here and see what they have to say. The detailed craftsmanship and practicality that went into recreating the spirit of classic sitcoms is absolutely stunning. But the real magic trick is Shackman's mastery over a complex tone. It's hysterical, tense, compelling, otherworldly. One of my fave MCU entries. That's a lot for an hour and a half, dude.
Yeah, that's a deep one.
Review
of it.
Yeah, that's a. I don't know. That's a bit much. I don't know if I buy it. Not that I doubt it in any way. It's just like it seems like a very. I don't feel like you've seen enough, but who knows? I haven't seen any of it. Watched the first 3 episodes of WandaVision yesterday. It's weird and hilarious in ways Marvel has no right attempting, but they nail it anyway. Then it sprinkles in just enough mystery to keep you speculating and fascinated. I'm so excited to see how far it goes. I mean, it's all clear across the board. I don't think I've seen anything.
It's all good reviews, looks like.
Again, I like this one. Watch 3 episodes of WandaVision, and the show is weird as hell.
In a good way.
That's more my kind of review. I want that. 2 things are clear. Marvel's dedicated to parodying classic sitcoms too. The MCU is finally back. See? Yeah. Can't wait to see how the show sets up Doctor Strange 2 and Spider-Man 3. I think everybody is there with you, dude. Everybody is there with you. All right. What do you think about this? Does this get you any more excited for WandaVision? Old Johnny Boy or Rick?
No, I'm actually trying not to put too much stock in these reviews because they're reinforcing my huge excitement level I had for it. I have grandparents I had grandparents that were that were I saw the old 50s sitcoms with them. I mean, between my grandparents, my parents, and then myself, I cover the entire gamut of sitcoms that they're going to go through. So I remember watching things like The Honeymooners and I Love Lucy.
Yeah.
And so when they first announced this show and they said that was the premise for it, I thought, A, what the F? Because how in the world are they going to work a superhero show into the sitcom universe, let alone the sitcom universe, spanning decades. But B, like this could be spectacular. I love comic books and I love superheroes, but I also like just good storytelling. And that's
100%.
why like some of my favorite comic books aren't superhero comic books. Things like Day Tripper and Preacher and Lock and Key. I love those series, and they're not superhero comic books, but
Didn't
yeah,
they
I
make
love
a
them
Lock
because
and Key show?
they do. There's a Lock and Key show on Netflix,
Thought
which
so.
is actually really good. It's not as dark maybe as the comics were, but it's still excellent. I'm looking forward to season 2, which supposedly they're filming now. But I really love good storytelling, and Marvel obviously knows how to tell good stories, and I love everything I'm hearing. Like, it's weird as hell. That's so exciting to me.
Yeah,
It looks really
It's
trippy.
so great. They whatever they're trying to do, all the reviews seem to say one thing in common is that they're doing it well. And so I can't. The hardest part of this series is going to be the wait in between each episode, I think, for me.
That's why that's why I'm worried they just pulled and to make 9 episodes, they just made stuff shorter. I'm telling you, every time you turn on Mandalorian, don't act like the first thing you do is check and see the end time, right?
Yeah.
Like you're just like, how long is this one? And you're just like, it's only 30 minutes. Like,
Yeah.
and then you just die inside. It's never a problem though. They like the way they pace the
They
shows.
do a good job.
It's amazing. Like I'll watch a 30-minute episode of Mando and feel like I got an hour for the content out of it half the time.
Sure.
So I mean, they do a great job of it, but it's like, could you imagine actually getting the hour out of it? Like that'd be pretty cool. Like I'd be good with that.
That's true.
Like
Well, isn't the first episode from this past season that Bo-Katan was in was only like a 35-minute episode, but my God, if that didn't feel like a whole hour long, like just epic like battle and stuff. That was
and
so
the
good.
Boba Fett one was the same way. I think the Boba Fett one was only
Yeah.
like 31 minutes, and
He did a
it
great
felt
job with
it
that,
felt
yeah.
long. It felt good. So yeah, they do a great job. If they can pace the show out like they do with Mando, then great. Like I'm just worried about it like being extended out for 9 episodes just so they can drag it on for 2 months. You know what I mean? Just to keep people subscribed, like anyone's unsubscribing from Disney Plus.
Some math here while you were talking about it. If we're talking 9 episodes and you're giving a sitcom a decade, that only gets us up to the 2020. That only gets us through 7 episodes. So I'm wondering if those last 2 are more present day centric. If whatever they're building to culminates in the present, and then those last 2 don't follow the sitcom script, but are more the present day, what's going on in the MCU status quo. And that's how do they tie, because this show was meant to air when it is, I think, but yet Eternals and something else. I know Black Widow, but Black Widow's is a prequel, so that doesn't really count. We're meant to air last year, so I'm not sure how they're weaving this timeline all together with all the delays and stuff with COVID.
Yeah, I don't know.
Like were the Eternals meant to already be out and a part of the MCU before
they were.
WandaVision came out? And so will WandaVision reference the Eternals without the movie having been out? I'm really curious how they're going to do all that, work that together.
I don't think it would have anything to do with Eternals, but I mean, it's supposed to lead into Doctor Strange and Spider-Man 3. So I'm wondering if like we're gonna get a post-credit scene with Benedict Cucumber Man, or like Tom Holland pops in or something at the end, because like
Yeah.
they're filming Spider-Man 3 right now. So I mean, I'm sure it wouldn't be too difficult for Tom Holland to pop in and just do something real quick. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? Like,
That'd be cool.
yeah. Well, here's the thing: over under like 50%, you see a scene with like Wanda and Vision in like a coffee shop that's like very reminiscent to either like the diner in Seinfeld or like the Friends cafe, whatever. I can't Central Perk. What do you think? Think you're gonna see? We think we're gonna get something like that? Then we're gonna get a modern day sitcom in there, a more modern day one.
I may be misremembering this. This may not have come from an actual official source, but I thought somebody said that they were using The Office as inspiration for at least one of the episodes.
Oh yeah,
That'd be cool.
Mhm. Yeah,
That'd be
that'd
interesting
cool.
to see.
That'd be weird though. Why The Office?
Yeah.
Do you feel like I felt like Seinfeld or Friends would be perfect? I know Friends is owned by WB though, so that might be problematic. But you could totally recreate like a cafe, a Central Perk, and just
Sure, but both Seinfeld and Friends are pretty firmly '90s shows. I know Friends crossed over into the the aughts, but I think you could still put a Friends spin on it if you want to do '90s.
yeah, I feel like it would just like work. Because I mean, if you just had like Vision and Wanda walk into like the Seinfeld diner and just like sit down and order some food, like it could be the quickest just throwaway scene. And the same for going into Central Park and getting some coffee. You know what I mean? Just like you just go to a cafe with a couch right in the middle of it, then you know what the idea is. You know, they're doing the Friends thing, guys. Same with you go to that like little left booth right from the door. It's like they're doing the Seinfeld thing, guys. That's really only. I just want to see that.
Yeah.
I'm hoping to see that, and I want to see like. I hope we learn how it's gonna tie in to Doctor Strange and stuff, because that's the only thing that's really up in the air for me about it. Is like, is this gonna be the catalyst for Multiverse of Madness, or is the Multiverse of Madness already happening and like she's just like it's not caused by her, like, you know what I mean, like something's going on and Doctor Strange is like, I need your help, or if she's causing the Multiverse of Madness, you know what I mean?
That's possible.
Like, because I feel like it's got to be one of the two. I don't really see what else it would be.
I mean, this isn't huge. This isn't spoilers for the show at all because I don't know anything about the show. But I mean, in the comics, Wanda did. I mean, she created at one point. She had a mental break and created the House of M storyline, where she created an alternate universe and brought everybody over to it because she was having a mental breakdown. So yeah, I definitely think that's a real possibility that they could be adapting this in some way like that.
Yeah, that would be my only guess. That's the only thing. Like that was where I think everybody's head logically went. It's like, oh, they're probably doing House of M or something. That at least Kevin Feige's little own play on it, like we were saying before, his own adaptation of some way. Because like Age of Ultron was nothing like Age of Ultron, and Civil War was nothing like Civil War when you compare the movies to the comics. But I don't know. That's what I'm excited for. Rick, are you excited for it in any way?
Yeah, actually, I think it'll be cool. It's not something that really, I guess, tooted my horn at first or anything, but especially after hearing you guys talk about it and seeing like the previews and that sort of thing. They're playing a lot of previews on TV right now. It looks good. Like,
yeah, it looks great.
I'm not super familiar with the whole like Vision storyline or Wanda or anything like that, but I think it'll be good, and I think the MCU knows what they're doing, and it'll be entertaining to say the least.
Do you think Vision is just back now? Like, you think he's just alive, like somehow?
Or did she just create?
Yeah, because I mean, he's totally dead, but like he's totally in that show.
Yeah.
I mean, Vision's one of those characters though where it's tricky because he's an android. So like, what is death for an android?
Yeah. Like,
so
they could always pull a thing where it's like, yeah, unfortunately, Shuri wasn't able to disconnect the Mind Stone from Vision prior to his death, but she was able to make a backup of Jarvis's consciousness, and we've been able to reprogram it and blah 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 blah, more fake technology stuff, So here he is. Like,
That'll be some explanation, I'm sure.
Yeah, I mean, I guess we'll find out in like 3 days now. I guess maybe we'll figure it out. But anyways, guys. Let us know what you think about these reviews, these early reviews in for WandaVision. Do you think, or does this get you more excited for the show, or are you a little bit more hesitant, kind of like me, because, I don't know, not just because of the Wonder Woman reviews, but as the most recent example of a bunch of reviews that were stellar and amazing for a movie that was not in my opinion. I've learned over the years just not to really. I don't really pay attention to the reviews. I do like to, I like when there's like clear consensus of okay, cool. There's a lot of people liking it, so that's a good sign. But at the same time, I don't buy into it all that much. I'm very hesitant. So let us know what you guys think down in the comment section below. All right, guys. So our next topic is going to shoot us to the DC universe or the DCEU or Zack Snyder's DC universe or Zack Snyder's cul-de-sac, whatever is actually being referred to at this point in time. Because we have some new images. We have a couple new images actually, but two in particular from the Snyder Cut, and then another one from like a concept that Zack had for like Wonder Woman as well. I think it was going to be used in BVS at some point. But first, let's take a look at this. We got a photo of both Steppenwolf and Darkseid, just their new look here for the Snyder Cut. And I personally think the Steppenwolf one, and I think they both look good and better than what we got in. I mean, we didn't get Darkseid at all in Justice League, so obviously that looks better, just outright. But Steppenwolf looked ridiculous in Justice League. Like it was like people are saying like PS3 playable characters and just talking crap about what it looks like and stuff, but it's like, have you seen the original one? Because that looked like a PS2 character. It looked like
really
garbage, dude. It was Clone Wars level animation, man. It was prequel level animation. Not Clone Wars. Clone Wars is fine, not the animated show. I mean, prequel level CG was actually better than the CG for Steppenwolf, in my opinion. Like, it looks like I hated how they made Steppenwolf look.
Sure.
This looks way better. Plus, this is stylized too. This isn't actually like a screen grab from the movie. If it is, it's been there's like Photoshop effects to it or something. You can tell by like the grain and shit. It's not like an actual still image from it. It's been modified in some way.
Plus, it fits more thematically with the movie. The mother boxes had that very, I'm trying to think of it. They were always in motion, like they were kind of
like
fluctuating.
living metal, yeah.
Exactly, and it looks like this is his armor. So thematically, all these things come from Apocalypse. So it would make sense that his suit would kind of reflect the same tone or the same technology as the mother boxes. So I think it is definitely an improvement over what we had in Justice League. And I actually I think he looks pretty good. I mean, it's a comic book character. These guys wear incredibly outrageous suits
Wild
sometimes.
stuff,
So
Because if anything, the more egregious thing is Darkseid's legs, man.
Oh man,
This is the more egregious thing. Like, there's no way you get your arms that jacked and your legs are that small.
biceps, like
There's no way. You don't have biceps that are bigger than your quads. Like, you literally have to be like, there's skipping leg day is a thing, okay? But like, not like this, as Twitch would say in the Matrix, man. Not like this. Not like this. Like, this is a little bit much. You go in, you spend $70 million, and this is the best you can do on Darkseid's legs?
I feel like
Come
this
on,
is
man.
like they were like playing like match the top half of the character to the bottom half, and somebody matched the wrong half.
Yeah,
That's
it's like when you're playing with your toys and you like just start clicking things together, right? Yeah, something don't look right with that. There was that other shot we saw like not too long ago. It actually showed him in the Darkseid like form, because they're saying that like this is Uxas or whatever and not Darkseid.
pre-Darkseid,
Yes,
the character
same
before he becomes Darkseid. Yeah.
But that image that we saw of or concept art, I forget which one it was, but that of Darkseid was like, he looked good. Granted, it was just a top half. They didn't show his like legs, I don't think. Yes, I don't know. But he had
Jim.
Yeah, so maybe that's why he lost here.
he's got to do some squats.
Because like this is the flashback scene from when like the Green Lantern was there with the Atlanteans and the Amazonians, and like maybe maybe he lost because he skipped leg day. So
They call him out for it.
yeah, like I read something interesting too, and I saw I think I saw like a video about it. Apparently, in the original, I'm assuming this is going to happen in the Snyder Cut as well, because this was supposedly in Zack's original like Justice League, plans. At the end of the movie, Flash is actually supposed to run back in time and reset things because they lose. But then the Flash goes back in time, and then they win. And then as they win, they open up the boom tube and punch Steppenwolf into it, right? But then as he's flying back towards it, Wonder Woman cuts his head off. So then his head goes through the boom tube, and then it falls at Darkseid's feet. And then they all see him and I actually saw this clip. This clip's actually out there. So this actually has to happen. But then the Steppenwolf's head falls at Darkseid's feet, and then like they all have a stare down at the very end with like Darkseid through the boom tube and shit. And I was like, that sounds cool. But I'm on board with that. I don't like the thing where they lose and Flash has run back in time, but I get why you do it just because they want to showcase Flash's abilities. But at the same time, there's two things that are very egregious with any form of Justice League that we've gotten right now. One, I hate that Barry Allen's lightning is whitish blue, and I hate that Darkseid's legs are smaller than his arms.
Yeah.
It is, and then obviously Justice League Steppenwolf really sucked too. Like that was really dumb. And honestly too, none of it made sense because like they were supposed to have that whole storyline thing where the mother boxes like are actually they Zack wrote in a thing where the whole reason, like there's a couple lines where Steppenwolf's like talking about mother and like you can't like don't touch mother, and he's referring to someone talking to a mother box. Like the whole thing was because his mom is trapped in the mother boxes, and that's why he needs to get them. Yeah, and so it just I don't know why you would cut all that stuff out because it would have actually made the movie make a little bit more sense in some ways, but. Regardless of that, the only other thing that apparently they've changed is Steppenwolf and Darkseid are actually supposed to be brothers, not uncle and nephew, supposedly. So that's a hot take. It's not really a scoop because I read it somewhere else too. So, but maybe you heard it here first. What do you guys think about this? So you just upset about Leg Day?
Yeah, I mean the Steppenwolf definitely looks like.
I think Steppenwolf looks good.
Yeah, it looks better, and it's like John said, like. Superheroes and villains and whatnot, they're supposed to look wild, But man, those legs kill me.
The legs, they need some work.
As soon as I saw that, I was just like, what? Like, nobody understands like anatomy of like muscular.
Yeah,
they definitely need some work, man.
I feel like they need bulked up and they need trimmed down just a hair. Like it looks like they come. Like, I mean, they look like his legs look like they're as long as his torso, longer than his head and his torso put together. It's just very, I mean, that armor piece he's wearing on his lower half comes way down there. It doesn't start to you way down his torso. So everything below that is almost leg. And I don't know, there's some proportion issues with this picture. Hopefully they get cleaned up with some of that $70 million.
Yeah, I'd hope so. It's a lot of money it's a lot of money to not put it into those legs.
Hopefully somebody in the studio is just like, dude, we got to fix the legs. Like, I understand this, and it doesn't work.
It's like the mustache from Superman in the Joss cut. Like, you're telling me there's nobody that's looked at this picture or watched that scene and doesn't say, "Hey guys, time out. Can we take 5 minutes and Photoshop some stuff here?" Because
yeah. I feel like with that mustache thing, they would have had better luck with just prosthetics, man. I know that thing looked like garbage. Like it looks so bad. Like, especially too, you opened up the movie with that scene. Yeah. Like the opening scene is that stupid CGI mustache. It really like as soon as that came on, I was like, oh god, we're in for it, dude. Like this is not gonna be good. And sure enough, it wasn't good. Then we got this picture here from this was supposed to be some picture from it was supposed to be in BVS if I remember correctly, right, John? Isn't that what this was supposed to be from?
This was the placeholder picture for Diana, the history picture of Diana, instead of the one we got with Steve Trevor later on when they were conceptualizing this movie. This was the placeholder before Patty Jenkins got involved and they started fleshing out what they were going to do with Wonder Woman movie and switched it over to the Steve Trevor picture.
I think it was a mistake because this is badass, dude. This is dope.
This is ridiculous.
No, this is the Wonder Woman that I want to see. Like, this is awesome.
Holding the heads of her enemies.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Cannibalistic, whatever that
No,
walk
man.
around carrying.
It's
severed heads.
accurate to the time. It's accurate to the time. This is what they would do back then.
This is true.
Whoa, hold on a second.
It's imposing. You're cool with
I want-
stormtrooper heads on pikes, but not whatever the hell these dudes did. Come on.
They're just helmets.
I want
Are
you
they,
to go
though?
back. I want you to go back and find the historical photos where people just casually walked around carrying the heads of their enemies.
No, they just beat them, and they come back, and you go and put these heads on spikes to ward off any more sacks on your village, dude. That's what you do. It's a thing. It
They used to
wards
do that,
off.
like, I know for sure, like the Tower of London, they
Yeah.
did that.
Like Vikings did it. It's a thing. It's totally fit for the times. All right, and it would have been cool because it would have shown how she evolved.
Why do none of the other people in the picture? Why aren't they carrying their head trophies?
Well, this dude, the samurai fella, he's got a bag, so they're probably in his bag. Then you can't see behind this guy, and then maybe this is in his right hand here, and then maybe none of them, like maybe she's the one who killed him, so she took the heads. Maybe they didn't get any kills in because they're not Wonder Woman.
Yeah, that's a pretty good point.
Who knows, man? I think it's cool. Did it really fit with the Wonder Woman we got and eventually got? No, but it did fit with the Wonder Woman Zack portrayed in BVS. It would have portrayed with. It would have worked.
Here's my let me play. Let me join your side for a second. There's a story for a Wonder Woman that carries around severed heads that I'm all in for. Like that, she's an Amazon warrior, and maybe she's there's a alternate history or alternate universe out there where Wonder Woman is just a complete badass that walks around with severed heads. I would love to see that story. Here's my issue though. We have never had a lack of a better word, traditional Wonder Woman movie ever made. Like we got the Linda Carter show for a fraction of time in the 70s, and then we've had basically nothing else live action. So I'm sorry if I want my Wonder Woman movie to be of a little more traditional variety. Just because I'd like to see that ages old most well-known version of the character on the screen before I see severed head Wonder Woman.
I'm with you. I'm totally with you. I just don't think it's cool.
I think it's cool. There's a place for it. It's just not like that's the movie you make in 15 years when you've told a good set of Wonder Woman stories, and you're like, oh, and here's this alternate world where Wonder Woman's, or here's Wonder Woman has to fight the Wonder Woman from Earth 2 who is vicious and doesn't promote peace and promotes violence or whatever.
See, this is why I hope DC gets their stuff together as far as their movies go, because I would absolutely love to see Injustice Gods Among Us.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? I want that.
It would be awesome.
Yeah, that's what I'm looking for, man. For
but
sure.
You be my traditional good super, the core of for what we were just talking about with Kevin Feige. Give me the classic versions of these characters that have withstood, decades, the test of time. Give me those to start out with, and then show me your alternate takes. I'm all for it. I'll be there. I'll watch them. I love them. But can we just have our traditional ones too first, please?
Oh yeah, I'm totally with you. I'm perfectly fine with the Wonder Woman. I'm fine with the portrayal that we've got of Wonder Woman up to now. I think it's been
pretty
fine.
Yeah.
I would like her to be a little more. I liked the approach that Zack was taking. Like in BVS, I liked how she was. Like when Doomsday smacked her around, she grinned about it. She I liked that. The Wonder Woman we got after this,
she was excited about the battle. Yeah, definitely.
And we haven't really got that anymore. So that does disappoint me. It's I liked that. Granted, that was just a quick look, but then we kind of had a little bit of it in the first Wonder Woman, but I mean, not in Wonder Woman 84. Absolutely not. I don't know what they're doing with the character anymore. Now I'm just confused. Like it's just I don't know. Do you guys got anything else you want to add with those ones, and then we can move on to the next segment here? You good?
I kind of I kind of monopolized that one with my.
Oh, no, I was totally with you. I just thought it looked cool, man. I was all for it. I want to see it happen, and I argue that it still would fit with the times. So it would make sense. It's like I think that's like 17th century or something. You don't know what's happening. Like different times, man. There's a place for it.
Yeah.
Exactly. So, all right. What do you guys think? Do you think do you agree that Darkseid skipped leg day? Do you think Steppenwolf looks good? Contrary to, I think Steppenwolf looks better than he did before. I mean, but again, that's not really asking too much, right? So, I mean, I can totally see that. And then, what do you think about the concept there or the placeholder image rather of Wonder Woman carrying around the severed heads? Do you think it's cool? Like I think it's cool. I think it could have worked. Do I think it's a little much? Sure, I recognize that as well, but I still like it. Let us know what you guys think down in the comment section below. All right, guys, so our next topic is actually going to be still in the world of Zack Snyder here, because this was just a quick thing that I thought was kind of funny. I just wanted to actually add it in. I was going to include it on the last one, but I don't know why. It just became its own thing for now, for whatever reason. But I don't know, Batman himself had to have found this, like the world's greatest detective, or someone from CSI, like the TV show CSI, where they can just enhance everything, had to have spotted this, because there was an image in Entertainment Weekly from Zack Snyder's upcoming Army of the Dead movie on Netflix, a zombie flick, which I'm very excited to see. I'm very excited to see Zack Snyder do something outside of the DC universe for the first time in a while, because at no point in time was Zack Snyder ever a divisive director until Man of Steel and BVS came out. Like, everybody liked Zack Snyder and Zack Snyder movies, and I want to get back to that. Like, because there's only one bad movie he's made, I contend to this day, and that was Sucker Punch.
Yeah.
Everything else has been fine. You're not going to tell me that 300 was bad. You're not going to tell me Dawn of the Dead was bad. Man of Steel was amazing. You can tell me it's not, but you're wrong. And BVS was fine. I don't think it was bad. It was just fine. But I mean, you're almost batting 1,000. It's close. He's like a 900 right now. It's not terrible. And then the Snyder Cut, we'll just have to see. Maybe that's bad. Who knows? But either way, this picture came out here showing that they go into our cast here of Army of the Dead. They go into this bank vault, and you see these things right here. Now, when you enhance, those were the same pictures or the same canisters there that were used for the Snyder Cut, like teaser that he put out. Zach posted this image, and then he literally included it in Army of the Dead.
That's funny.
Like, which I just find to be, it's effing hilarious, honestly. Like, but whoever found this is insane. Like, how you would see this random picture of the bank vault from Army of the Dead, and your eyes go over to here, and you're like, I've seen this before.
Yeah, I would never have got that.
I would have absolutely never noticed that. And I try to, when I'm watching movies, I try to find little Easter eggs that could be hidden there, or I like to look for airs. Like in Batman Begins, there's a scene, for instance, where that Christopher Nolan forgot to cut out during the dock fight station, because the music in the fight scene doesn't sync up to the sound design. So it's just this random clip that shows Batman's feet all of a sudden, but the scene is already stopped, and it's there. Go and watch it. It is a mess up in editing. But I like looking for that stuff, and I notice that kind of stuff. You know what I mean? But I would have never seen that.
No.
It's insane that it's hilarious that it's there, and I want to know who found this, because it's just insane.
It's apparently pretty valuable.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, it's the most valuable thing in that room. It's worth at least $100 million at this point. So. Yeah, I just thought that was cool. You guys, what do you guys think about this? You think it was funny? You think it was a good thing to throw in there?
I just think it's funny. Yeah,
Who do you think found this, man?
It's hard to say.
It's insane.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I think it's hilarious that Zach is trolling kind of WB by, because that was WB's talking point for so long, was that it doesn't exist. It doesn't exist. We
Yeah,
can't
and
go.
that's the thing. He posted this picture like not like this was. I mean, this says 9 months ago or 9 minutes ago. This is an old picture though. Regardless, okay.
Yeah.
I remember seeing this like 6 months ago.
Yeah.
Like because this came out. He posted this before the announcement that he was actually doing it. So, and that was like February or something, or March maybe, when it officially came out. So, I mean, this was a while ago. It's almost been a year ago they posted that. So, like, he was filming Army of the Dead, and if you look, it's already on the cage there.
Yeah.
Like, so he was filming Army of the Dead and like already had this shit sitting there.
That's true. It's literally like the same shot, just
know
a
what I
different.
mean?
Yeah.
Well, I just find it hilarious. Like, but I mean, he did know about. He confirmed himself that he initially started talking to Warner Brothers about making the Snyder Cut back in November, December, right around the time the COVID was over in China.
Oh,
Like
Wuhan.
right around that time was exactly when he was talking to them about actually doing the Snyder Cut. So this is just how he had the foresight to throw this in there. Like just because I don't know. I just find it hilarious.
Right.
It's baffling. But anyways, you guys got anything else you want? Are you excited for Army of the Dead?
It'll be cool to see. Interesting. See his like take on that sort of thing.
He's already done. He did Dawn of the Dead.
Dope.
Yeah, Dawn. That was so good.
That was a great movie. Like, dude, that was a great movie. That was like his first big movie that put him on the map, man. It might have been his first big Hollywood movie in general. I can't really remember.
Now I feel stupid.
Not many people know that was a Zack Snyder movie.
Rick. Like if you haven't seen his original Dawn of the Dead, go check it out because it's. I mean, if you dig zombie movies, it's definitely one of the good ones. It's
yeah.
There have been so many that have been made that were just kind of so as the craze kind of swept over everything. But his came before like the Walking, like his Dawn of the Dead was before the Walking Dead TV show was out and stuff. It was kind of zombies weren't as big as they were when that movie came out. It was
he kind of rekindled the movement. I feel like everything started like happening after, because I think that came out in like 2000.
I was not a Walking Dead fan, and I like zombie movies.
It has a very different feel than Walking Dead, so
Yeah,
don't worry.
It's much more of a traditional zombie thing.
Yeah,
but
definitely.
done really well. Like done really, really well. So I'm looking forward to it. And again, Netflix, at least as far as Army of the Dead goes, just like Kevin Feige seems to have like the utmost confidence in can't remember his name now. Let me find it. I gotta put it up. Michael Waldron. Yeah. Just like they Netflix seems to have a ton of confidence in this Zack Snyder Army of the Dead project because they've already greenlit an anime series for it and a prequel movie. So hopefully he captures some lightning in a bottle there, and like maybe he's gonna have his whole he'll go on and make sequels for this thing afterward. Like who knows, man? It could be really big for him. It could be a sleeper thing for Netflix, dude.
Sequels like Air Force of the Dead, Navy of the Dead,
yeah, maybe
Marines of the Dead.
Yeah, he could. I mean, I'd be on board with that. Space Force of the Dead.
Space Force of the Dead.
That'd be cool as hell, man.
Ugh.
That's the only thing we haven't had yet is zombies in space, right?
True.
I don't think we've had that.
I can't
like
think
in
of
movie
one.
form.
I've been shocked that somebody hasn't done something with that.
I'm sure there's been a play on it, like in like an episode of Star Trek or something. Like they had to have at some point. Maybe not, but it does seem like something, or like your Stargate series or Battlestar or something. You know, one of these serialized shows that just kind of exist in space. I'm sure it's done something about it. But anyways, guys, let me know what you think. I just thought this was funny. So you just let me know what you guys think of this down in the comments. Do you think, Zack Snyder's just like the biggest troll in the world? Because like I'm starting to think he's doing good. This is real good. And I need to know what amateur sleuth out there actually found this thing, because that's incredible. I don't know how you would even go about realizing that was in there. So let us know what you guys think down in the comment section below. All right, guys. So our final topic here is we're just going to kind of spitball on this whole recent comments by like Walter Hamada saying that like the Justice League, Zack Snyder's Justice League is a cul-de-sac, but then we get conflicting information from other Warner Brothers reps or like sources with Warner Brothers reps that kind of indicate that there could be future plans for Snyder Cut content. And then we also have Zack Snyder doing an interview and having his own comments saying that he has no current plans for further installments, but anything's possible. But Zack Snyder himself has said in the past too that he had a plan for 5 movies, and he's only done 3 if you include Justice League. So at this point, I don't really know what to expect here. But we have this more recent article come out here suggesting that a Trinity movie for Batman, Superman, and Wonder Woman depends on the success of Snyder Cut. And I'm just going to kind of reiterate exactly what I've been saying to like everybody, like on the show here. Why do they have such big ads on this website? Like, this is ridiculous. Why would you put like, it's like, where's the article? It's like broken up and all these stupid, like, what is this? Either way, I'm just going to say, here's the thing. They could say all they want to say about there not being any more plans and they're not going to do anything else, or, it's a cul-de-sac or whatever. But again, money talks. All right. If the Justice League Snyder Cut comes out and just HBO Max pops off in subscribers, they can literally get real-time analytics like suggesting how many people signed up on the release correlated to those same viewers if they watch the Snyder Cut, and then just go from there. If they can deem it a success, they will obviously go to Zack for more stuff. If they see value in it, value in dollar signs, it's gonna happen. And like, so it's like, I feel like this article is kind of a spaghetti on the wall kind of thing. But I mean, they do claim to have sources for it, so I mean, it is what it is. But either way, I've been saying it forever. It just comes down to money talks. So, I mean, Zack Snyder can say, right, like he just said in the recent interview, like this past week, I think, that he didn't have plans for it. But at the same time, he also said anything's possible in that very same interview. And then we all know he's had plans for 5 movies. So, what do you guys think? Do you think I'm crazy, or do you think I'm just too rational about it where it's like, no duh? Because I'm just kind of confused why. The only thing that's really confusing me is like why Walter Hamada will come out and say it's a cul-de-sac, but then like immediately after that there was a whole, like, I forget, we talked about it last week. He said he himself said something completely contradictory, and then they're bringing like Ben Affleck back for the Flash, and they're continuing the Flash, then they're continuing Wonder Woman. So it's like, is it really a cul-de-sac though? Because you're still building off of it. Like, no matter how you look at it, you're still building off of it.
I don't think you're crazy. I mean, it sounds like what you're saying makes sense, that there would be more. So I guess you have to wait and see. But I definitely don't feel like it's a cul-de-sac by any means. I mean, like you said, money talks. If Justice League does well, who knows what'll happen.
That's why I think he specifically said cul-de-sac as opposed to a dead end. Yeah. Maybe he was just trying to be diplomatic because dead end sounds kind of shitty. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
I could see like Zack Snyder kind of taking offense, and anybody working on it kind of taking offense to that. But
I also think that we mentioned this last week on last week's show, how we thought that wording was peculiar to say the least, and that he didn't have to say dead end. He could have said that we don't have any more plans to work with Zack in the DCU after this, or something like that. Something a little more definitive, but also clearly make the impression that they were done. So I think all of this is very much. I think the cul-de-sac comment is sort of a CYA, cover your ass type deal. I think he's just covering himself so that fans don't have the expectation that more is coming. That way, if this bombs and fails, I mean, to be honest, you have to look at it from WB's community relations, public relations vision of it too. They've dealt with, ever since Zack was removed, and ever since there started to be these hints and these talks about what was going on with the Justice League movie and reshoots and and replacing characters and rewrites and things like that. And then you have the movie come out and be critically panned, and then you have stories come out, further instigating this, and then you have the Snyder Cut movement that not only started, but my God, it was what, 2 solid years of release the Snyder Cut and bad press for WB about why they wouldn't let Zack's vision out and how there's this other cut of this mythical movie out there. So I think all of that ties into him just kind of trying to mute fan expectations and not give people the hope. And then that way they have the option to say, yeah, okay, Zack, this were gangbusters for us. This was more than we could have ever asked for. Hey, you know what? We'll sign you to a 5-picture deal right now, to make more content. But I think they're definitely covering their butts just so that if things don't go the way that everybody I think hopes they do, there's not that fallout from it that they experienced with Justice League.
Yeah, I'm with you too, and I think it's kind of foolish for anybody out there to think that somehow the Snyder Cut's just going to be some like amazing success, because Man of Steel, despite how amazing it was divisive.
Yeah.
BVS wasn't as good as Man of Steel, but it was more divisive than Man of Steel. So there's really no reason to expect that this also won't be divisive. Like,
it just shows that Zack's vision for the DCU is pretty divisive. So
it didn't resonate with the global audience. Like, it just didn't. Like, whether that's for better or for worse, it doesn't matter. Like, it doesn't matter. It just didn't.
That doesn't mean that if all of those fans who were on the side of Zack and love that vision of it, if all of them get behind him and support this, and there's enough of them, it could push the needle, especially in the realm of streaming, for HBO to go to Zack and say, look, this worked on this platform. It may not work for a general movie-going audience, but my God, you've ensured us this diehard contingent of 10, 20, 30 million plus subscribers that love your vision of the DCU. We want to do more with you with this. So
that's kind of how I feel about it. Like,
no, and that's the thing too. Like, that's what I think they should be shooting for. And I think if the Zack Snyder's like DC universe is going to live on anyway, I think it will probably be on HBO, because for one, it just makes sense. Like, since they're doing the Snyder Cut thing as an HBO Max project essentially anyway, if it can drive those subscriber numbers up, keeping it contained in that environment would both behoove HBO and Warner Brothers, because they'll now have a popular IP that is actually driving their subscriber count. You know what I mean? It's like, for instance, what Game of Thrones did for HBO. Like, they had that, and now that was gone. We just did a story about it last week. The reports are suggesting that they lost up to, if not more than 50% of their subscribers once Game of Thrones ended. So yeah, maybe partly with people that were unhappy with it, but in the end, more than likely, it was just because that's what they were watching. They were watching Game of Thrones. That was it.
That was the only thing.
Yeah, it's like they didn't watch anything else. So if the Snyder Cut can get enough people in there for them to see that maybe there's something here that we can continue on with more stories that are connected to this universe, whether it's Zack coming back to do a Justice League Part 2 or to do this proposed Trinity movie, if that was going to be like from Zack, sure. But maybe it's Ben Affleck's solo Batman movie. Maybe it's something else.
I was going to mention the Ben Affleck Batman movie. Yeah.
Like, maybe it's something else within that world that would only exist there. It would benefit both, because then, as far as the cost goes, HBO is able to spend enough money on like a series. They were spending like $25 million an episode on Game of Thrones. So like, if it's enough for the Game of Thrones, as long as the Snyder Cut is pulling in enough numbers, gets enough subscribers in, I see no reason why it couldn't live on in some way, or at least finish off what Zack's vision is, or like I said, continue stories on like in some way on there. Because like Superman movie, no, like that's gonna go to the theaters, like even if it's Henry Cavill. And obviously with Wonder Woman 2 the same way, both of those movies Man of Steel made like 600 to 800 million. Then Wonder Woman was obviously successful both times. I mean, I don't really know how successful. I'm actually curious because Wonder Woman was so divisive. I kind of wish it would have got a normal theatrical release because I would have liked to have seen how much money it actually made because they had to pay out Patty and Gal as if it was going to make $1 billion. I don't know if it would have made $1 billion. In all honesty, I don't know if it would. Like, the first one didn't, and this one wasn't as good. So I don't think it would have.
I would have gone. I would have ensured it.
You would have ensured.
See, I haven't seen it still, and I've got.
You spend enough money on a fake Wonder Woman thing, but you ain't got a lightsaber yet. Just
gotta get a lightsaber. Yeah.
Oh man!
Next week we'll come on and we'll both have them just.
Soon,
John will just be.
I'm gonna recreate that
Sad
Vader
John.
scene just to send to John.
I'll film it for you.
Yeah, and then I'll get the Revan costume and everything too, and then I'll recreate it again. Just like every day, I'm just gonna keep downloading new sound fonts, and then like you'll be the first one I send it to. and then,
tormenting me.
Yeah, then soon enough, you're just gonna be like, Nate, I got 4 of them coming.
Yeah.
Oh man. All right. Do you guys got anything else you want to add for the Trinity? Oh wait, no, we can just continue this on because the next one we're gonna talk about, this kind of flows into it here. Let's talk about this because this is just as confusing to me. So this whole Ray Fisher thing that's going on right now, what's been going on? So there's been a recent article that came out from. It's got kind of a clickbaity headline because it's not actually directed towards Ray Fisher, but I'm just gonna bring it up anyway here. It's from CBR, so it's not like some random place or anything. But this is very misleading, we'll say the least. It's not really clickbaity, but it says more to me to response to Ray Fisher. It's time to move on. It doesn't really go on to say that. Like they don't call him out directly. It's just a statement from like either the lawyer or the PR person from the Warner Media rep, essentially, whomever it was, whatever their role was. But it was Warner Brothers rep that was actually giving the statement for this. Just said that they've conducted their outside investigation from the law firm and led by a former federal judge and all that sorts of fun stuff. More than 80 people were interviewed, and they have full confidence in its thoroughness and integrity, and the remedial action has been taken, and the investigation has concluded, and it is time to move on. They did not say, hey, Ray Fisher, it's time to move on. So that's not actually what happened. So I don't really agree with the headline here because it is very misleading, and it's just kind of, this is the kind of thing that just adds more fuel to the fire in these kind of situations, because then you get people who like literally just read the headline because they know 90% of people out there only read the headlines. That's why Twitter is a thing. That's why you only have so many characters to do it. See, that's literally why. Because no one wants to go through and actually read. And granted, I mean, this was just like, it's right here. It's so close. And then they know, like, no one's going to get that far in the article. And that's sad because it's literally 2 sentences down. Not that big of a deal. But this whole thing is just, I don't know. The only thing I have to say about the whole Ray Fisher thing to begin with is like one blanket statement that, and I don't care what, like, you can agree to disagree. That's fine. But I don't think anybody can disagree with the fact that if you're watching this show, you probably weren't there. You did not witness whatever this abuse was that Ray Fisher is talking about. Like, you weren't there. So you can assess and have your opinion based on what you see and what you're reading, but in the end, you weren't there. So I just don't think you shouldn't be jumping like down Ray Fisher's throat, and you shouldn't be pointing fingers at Warner Brothers because like you don't know what happened. You know, that's the only thing that like I'll never agree with anybody like choosing sides when it's like,
just hearsay.
Yeah, were you in the room? Like, because I mean, why do you have any sort of like? Why should people believe what you're saying? Because I mean, you could say that to Ray Fisher. That's fine. Because like, why should we believe him? There's been like, that's the one gripe that I have with what Ray Fisher's been saying. Is he could be a great guy. I don't know. I like the Cyborg too. Like, he was fine, but I don't feel like he's came out and definitively said this person did this bad thing and this is why.
It was just super generic.
Yeah, he made a very vague statement about like Geoff Johns threatening his career, but he didn't say what actually happened. Like, and like that's the only thing that's kind of like confusing in some ways. And maybe it's like, why did you go public with all this stuff, like this whole thing, if you weren't gonna like give details about it? Because you'd think that normally the only time to go public with something like this is when you've gone through the other proper channels and you're not getting the outcome that you think you deserve in some way, you know? Like if you try to go like, if you go to your boss and the boss doesn't do anything, and you go to their boss and their boss doesn't do anything, and then you're out of options.
Retain a lawyer.
Yeah. It's like,
where you retain a lawyer and say, hey, look, there was I was treated unfairly. I was wrongly, threatened or whatever. And there's some compensation that needs to happen here.
Yeah. And it's like, I don't know. And that's the thing. Like I said, I wasn't there. Maybe that happened. So like, that's fine if that's the case. It's just odd though, if that did happen. Normally that's when you like make the details public.
Yeah, make like actual deeper allegations.
Yeah, 'cause this I just feel like everything has been like a little, like you said, vague. It's just vague. Like this person was mean, but what did they do? They were mean.
Yeah, they were mean. Yeah.
Like, okay. Like, but why?
That's honestly been my biggest thing with it too, is I've read, as far as I know, I've read all of Ray Fisher's statements on the matter. I've watched some of his Instagram posts on the matter. There was one where he was walking down a sidewalk and talking about the evidence that he has and stuff. And he's brought up a lot of times that there's all this supportive evidence for these claims that have been made. And there were other people like Jason Momoa, I think, came out and said he stands with Ray Fisher. And so that, I don't know that Jason Momoa, especially having such strong ties to Warner Brothers and DC and his Aquaman character, would be willing to put his, career or that part of his career on the line if he didn't believe Ray Fisher. So that lends credence to it. But I just don't. It's hard when you're told over and over, I have this evidence, but it never manifests. It never shows up. And on the other side, Warner Brothers has not exactly been forthcoming with their investigation. They say it's over. They say that remedial action has been taken. Well, what was the outcome? Why aren't you saying, these are the things that we found that were done wrong, and this is what we're doing to fix it. These are the actions that came about. So both sides are being very coy, and they're playing this weird PR game. And I don't necessarily, like you said, nobody was in the room. Nobody watching this. We weren't in the room. We don't know what happened in these situations. So it's hard for me to just get fully back one side or the other. As often with these cases, the truth probably lies somewhere in the middle.
Yeah, exactly. And that's the thing. It's like, I don't know like who or what to believe. It's just like, you'd think after going public, we'd have the details for it, because it's just like, why would you go public?
Well,
if I don't know.
I said this when we were discussing it, before the show. It's odd to me that in a day and age where Ryan Reynolds can leak the Deadpool footage in order to get the Deadpool movie made, and Tom Cruise's rant about COVID can get leaked, and all these leaks happen left and right. Every other day there's another leak. And yet this is kind of not to belittle this, what happened, or minimize the importance of it. But this isn't like, Ray Fisher's not a major motion picture star. This movie was, by all means, not a major picture in the long run. Nobody really cares about Justice League anymore. They care about Zack Snyder's Justice League now, but Justice League is a kind of forgotten film out there. And so for the secrecy to be so strict around all this is just the whole thing is very perplexing. I don't think we'll ever have a straight answer on it. And hopefully, hopefully the focus will turn back towards Warner Brothers making good DC films, Zack Snyder's Justice League, and positive talk about
good
that.
Vibes.
Yeah, not
good
the
vibes.
negativity.
Thank you. Yeah, it's good vibes.
No, I'm with you, man. Because that's the thing that's just been the only thing that bothers me about it. Again, is just like, when you go public, that's the time to make the details public.
Yeah, put it all on the table.
Because otherwise it's just a he said she said thing, and that's all we're getting. And it's like, It's like they're trying to be diplomatic, and it's like, but you've gone public. Like both sides, it's like Warner Brothers. It's just like remedial action's been taken. It's like, okay, what does that mean? Like, who got their due Cummins? Like because that implies that there was wrongdoing.
Doing on your sets to ensure that an actor doesn't be put in the situation that Ray Fisher feels he was put in. I mean,
Yeah.
are you giving what are they called? Are you giving them, does each actor now have a supportive person that's taking their side when they go into these meetings or something? I don't know.
Yeah.
It's very odd.
Yeah, and because too, it's also like potentially like kind of a shame and I'm not taking sides by me, but like this whole situation like could obviously really like hurt Ray Fisher's career
Yeah.
because he's coming out and like who's gonna want to work with him? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, especially if the details aren't leaked. So, like, if nobody knows what actually happened, so that no one can really take his side, it's like, why would Universal want to get in bed with Ray Fisher if they don't know what like wrong thing that they'll do that Ray Fisher is going to take public? That's always going to be in their mind. You know what I mean? It's just like, so that's only gonna like not having the details out there will really just hurt him even more because now everyone just knows that he's just spouting stuff out on Twitter and making things public, but no one knows why and if he's like purely justified or not because no details are given. So it's like,
yeah,
it's just kind of confusing. And then the last thing we kind of have do you have something to say?
I was just gonna say, on a side note,
Yeah.
this whole debacle with Ray Fisher and Warner Brothers is hilarious to me because yet again, even in the times when, even in situations where things are going bad, Marvel still does it better than DC does. I mean, you think about the kind of ugly sort of breakup that Marvel had with Terrence Howard and playing Rhodey going into Iron Man 2. And that never didn't get nearly to the level that this Ray Fisher thing has gotten.
No one cares.
It's just yet again, Marvel has one up DC in just every way, shape, and form.
Yeah, in some way. It's just kind of a shame, in all honesty. The last thing we really have here kind of ties into this too, so I'm just going to keep this one running because apparently in one of Ray Fisher's claims, he said something about Geoff Johns like no longer working for like DC or something along the lines of he was going to be like forcefully removed after this is done or something along those lines. And
I think he said Warner Media has severed ties with Joss Whedon
and Geoff Johns.
Geoff Johns is on his way. Will be next year or something.
And apparently not. There's an article here. An article here is that states explicitly that Geoff Johns, for one, he co-wrote Wonder Woman 1984, but that would have been in development prior to, I guess, these statements. But other than that, though, he right now is working on season 2 of Stargirl. He's executive producing Batwoman, Doom Patrol, Titans, and Superman and Lois coming to CW. So that's obviously not true, at least as far as right now. Like,
yeah, it doesn't sound like he's going anywhere.
Yeah, and I don't think DC. It would be pretty hard for DC and Warner Brothers to like something would have to be really bad for them to cut ties with Geoff Johns because he's had a very like long career at not like incredibly long, but he's been with DC for a while and he's done some really good things.
Who's the chief creative officer for DC Comics on the whole for 5 years there. Now, he's since stepped away from that role and is now kind of contracting with them and executive producing on stuff. But
they like absolved that role there is like what happened. They absorbed it into Jim Lee's job. Like Jim Lee just took it over. So like, he's just like, I don't know really what kind of title he has there now. I think it's just like freelance, I guess, but only works with DC. Because like, I don't think he's gone out. I don't think he's gone and worked with anybody else since
he has his own
Green Lantern run.
Yeah, I think he has his own company right now. It's called like Madcap Productions or something.
Oh yeah, that might be right.
I think what you said is right. I think he's exclusive, or his company is exclusively working with or for DC right now, or Warner Media, whatever that would be.
Yeah, whatever it is, right? And I while Geoff Johns hasn't done too great on the movie front, though, like I hope that like at one of these movies or TV shows coming out he's working on, somehow he gets that like Green Lantern fire that he had back, man. Because like his Green Lantern run was awesome. Like
Yep.
he's like the reason that Green Lantern's even like what it is today, like right now.
Yep.
Like and
Go read the Sinestro Corps War, and then if you know if that doesn't get you excited about the possibility or what a Green Lantern series or movie could be, then I don't know what would.
That's something I'd like to see.
Well, that's the thing that's kind of baffling is why we never got any announcement that Geoff Johns is attached to the like they have what's his name? The dude Greg Berlanti is producing the Green Lantern show, and I'm just like, what are you doing? Your Green Lantern guy is Geoff Johns, dude.
The problem is Johns was attached to at least as I think I'm remembering this right. Johns was attached to the Ryan Reynolds Green Lantern movie. And
he was. Yeah,
I'm not sure what happened creatively there. I don't know if he just didn't have the voice he needed to have to make the movie be what it needed to be. I have a feeling that the good elements of that movie, which there are some, despite what the overall impression of the movie was, there are some good elements to it. And I think those are probably his touches on that movie based on what he did in the comics. But I don't think he didn't have quite the clout that he does now. And so I think that may contribute to the but anyway, he's got the tarnish of that Green Lantern movie attached to him, so maybe that's
check the screen.
Oh. Yeah.
He wrote the screenplay.
Well,
there might be another screenwriter on it, though. We never know. Because he and Patty Jenkins co-wrote Wonder Woman 1984, but he still has a screenplay by and story by credit. So we don't really know how much he was involved in Wonder Woman 84. You know what I mean? Like how much of it was Patty, how much of it was Geoff Johns. Like who knows? Like so, I mean, it could be the very same concept with it. Let's see if there's anybody else listed as a thing here. I'm actually just kind of curious now.
Additional cast or crew information.
Yeah, it doesn't look like there's much info.
No.
His picture was at the bottom there. Is there somebody else down there at the bottom next to his picture?
No.
Okay. But that's your recently viewed.
Writers, John. Oh, this is comic book. Well, I guess we'll just have to wait and see. And writing, yeah, this is also story by, screenplay. No, it looks like he's the only one for the movie. He has a story by and screenplay credit.
Deborah Snyder is a producer. That's interesting.
Yeah. Well, Deborah and Zack are producers on like everything at DC right now. They were producers on Wonder Woman 84. Both their names were on that. It's like anything.
I just figured that was because of him bringing Gal into it and their involvement with spinning out BVS.
Possibly, yeah. Dude, the producer credit is such a nebulous term anymore, and like, like it doesn't matter what it is. Like Steven Spielberg's on like a ton of movies, and like all he had to do was like take a lunch with them, and it's like we'll give you a story credit, or like we'll give you a producer credit. That's you think he did anything on the Transformers movies for Michael Bay? Like, or you really think he had lunch with them? Like,
I produced The Force Awakens. I mean, shit, they let me do it. Just kidding.
Yeah, right. But yeah, I just hope that long story short, I want Geoff Johns. I swear to God, I hope this better be right. If this is because you can't always trust IMDb, especially like when it's this far out. Like this could be inaccurate. But of all the projects for Geoff Johns to be writing on, like this is the one. Like this is the one. He had a good Aquaman though run too, didn't he?
He did.
Yeah. So
like
excellent. Yeah, if I'm remembering correctly. So I mean,
he had a Superman run. He had a really good Superman run too.
Yeah, I don't know about the Superman one. I don't think I read anything about that one. But I did. I know. I saw
really good Brainiac story. Yeah.
Was it? Mm-hmm. Maybe I have read that one. Then I don't remember. Either way, this is the one. This is the
Yeah,
I hope
definitely.
this is totally the one of any of them. So I hope it's good. Like
I hope it is. I like Green Lantern.
all they gotta do is get Chris
Dude.
Pine in there to play Hal Jordan. That's all we gotta- that's all we want. Like, don't bring
Good
him
luck with
back for
that.
Wonder Woman 3. Just bring him back for Green Lantern. Okay, it's fine. Just do it. He'd be perfect for the Hal Jordan I have in my head. Okay, I know it's the one in my head. It's not the one they wrote. It's the one in my head. It'd be perfect for it. But alas, they're not making my Green Lantern movie, so which is probably a good idea in all honesty. But that'll do it for us today, guys. Don't forget, to submit comments and questions or whatever you want. Send them to honestanduneducated@gmail.com. That's honestanduneducated@gmail.com. You guys got anything else you want to add? I just kind of signed off. I figured we were wrapping this up. So you guys all
No,
good?
I'm good.
Squared
I'm
away?
good.
All right,
Yeah.
cool. Rick, where can everybody find you online then, good sir?
You can follow me on Instagram at Sir Rick Metz, RIKMETZ.
Go. John, where can everybody find you?
I'm over on the Twitters at Nightwing_J.
Good deal. And you can find me just simply right here at Sir Rob Bifo, or you can find me by emailing me at honestanduneducated@gmail.com again. You can do that and I'll respond to that. What's up, John?
Hey Rob, don't forget to tell everybody about all this good stuff that just came out. I mean, you mentioned the lightsaber review earlier, but people can go check out your new Batman hot toy review that just went up
That's
this
true.
week.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
There were a couple new ones.
Link it in
coming
the
up.
description.
I was gonna plug it. I'm not gonna put the link in the description, but because that's not really the same format thing here.
No.
But yes, I did a review. Let me pull it up real quick. I don't know if I can pull it up right
It's a
now.
good figure. Not a bad figure.
This is exciting. Yeah, this is.
Let me pull it up. I got this, and then I got this. So here, you guys go and check out right here. I did the review of the unboxing. This isn't the review yet, but I got the unboxing of the lightsaber out. That's on the channel. You can go find that. Then I got the Prestige Batman toy there with the classic clickbait thumbnail. You got to do it sometime, so that's why it's there.
Yeah.
So again, you gotta go watch the video, and then you like it. It's right here. You click that, then you click subscribe, and then you click the bell.
Then you follow all of us.
And you have a great day.
Yeah, and then
they just
make sure
good.
when you play the video, you let it run for like at least 10 minutes because that helps the analytics better. You don't have to watch it. You just put it on. You can click tabs off of it, but you do all that, and that helps to do that. But then when you want to, you go back and you actually watch it because it's good. And that's what happens. You that's how it works. So then here's the lightsaber. It's right here. And so
Pretty sick.
You go and it's right here, and then you go there to watch me get it out of the box and stuff. And then soon there's gonna be another video of me saying how cool it is, like I am right now. So but then again, you go and you hit like and then subscribe if you didn't do it before. Then let it play for 10 minutes. Maybe 5's fine too, but or again, watch it all the way. Okay, you do that. But anyways, yes, that'll do it. Follow me at Sir Rob Bifo, and also there's also these, man. You go and watch these right here. Every like Friday we do this. We do this right here. We do these streams here.
Look at those
where
muscles.
I flex my muscles and I play Warzone like with John, and then Rick sits there and doesn't play games because he doesn't have a computer yet.
Not yet.
Yeah, but we'll work on that. We'll get some trios in there or something here one day once you actually get one. But we do more than that. I'm thinking about too, by the way, guys, before we sign off here for sure. I'm thinking about going back and playing through, and I could do this as like a stream segment too if you guys are interested. Going back and playing all the Star Wars games.
That would be interesting.
Since we everybody's got this Star Wars itch right now. And then John, once you get your gaming computer, we can play the Old Republic. You know what I mean? Because that can just be like kind of overarching thing because it's an everlasting MMO. You know what I mean? But we could play
You've got me excited for that. I actually watched that video you sent the other day about playing it, and it like the dude is so hype on the one on the single player, and then you add the multiplayer component to it.
It's honestly a fun game, man. I mean, came out like 2011 or whatever. It's an old game, but like for what it is, it's literally World of Warcraft Star Wars edition. I mean, it plays exactly the same, and it's actually because I played it religiously when it first came out, And I mean, it's not as good as World of Warcraft on like a global scale, but like when it first came out, that's all I was playing. Like,
I remember
loved
that.
game.
You
Like-
literally like that is all you were playing.
and I still love the game. I just literally haven't played it since it came out. But now that like you were saying, Rick, you got the itch, you got the Star Wars itch. Everybody's got the Star Wars itch after Mandalorian, after that last episode. I mean, it's the proof's in the pudding. I went and bought like 4 of these fucking lightsabers out. Right? So yeah, but I'm thinking about going back and playing all that. Might start with Fallen Order, then maybe like Force Unleashed, and like go through there, and then go like old school and like play like
You got to play like the NES versions.
those games were hard.
They were. I remember
They
that.
were hard.
They had
man.
good soundtracks too.
Yeah, they were good games too. But
Yeah.
then they got like the old like Jedi Knight, Jedi Academy games and stuff. You know, you can go like back then.
Star Wars Galaxies.
They're still doing that.
Are they?
They've actually brought that back. Yeah,
That's
they
good. My
made them.
brother
They
was
made them
really
shut
into that.
Galaxies down when the Old Republic came out, but they just recently they brought it back. It's like called like SGE or something. It's back though. So if any of you guys play Star Wars Galaxy, it is actually back. But anyways, again, follow me at Sir Refo. Do all the at Sir Refo. At Sir Rob Bifo. It's right there on the screen. Follow me right there. There. All right, that's it, guys. Until next time, take care.